Tonight on America, The Conversation, Andrew and Tim discuss the second GOP presidential primary debate and whether or not there should be a third or fourth. The answer to that question is simply no. Donald Trump has clearly won, and the rest of the presidential primary people have clearly lost. It's kind of silly we are still even entertaining this idea that anybody else will be the presidential primary pick for the GOP. What are all of you trying to do? Sell books? Oh, you are trying to sell books. That would make sense. Why not do a cash grab when you can? Donald Trump did it. All this and more tonight on America, The Conversation. Hello and welcome to America, The Conversation. I am one of your hosts, Tim Philippi, and with me, as always, is Andrew Turner. What's up, man?
Hey, man. How'd you like that debate last night? That was fun, huh?
I definitely fell asleep soundly afterwards because it lulled me to sleep. The half that I watched, but kudos to you for watching the whole. Did you watch the whole thing completely?
I did watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I only understood 4/5 of it because I don't speak Virgin, so Tim Scott was not really working for me.
That's true. God.
But
yeah, the second he came on screen, every time all I could say is "Shut up, Virgin." It's a reaction at this point. Also, just before we get into it, my major notice that I saw when I started watching last night: the most uncomfortable human being alive award goes to Ron DeSantis. His face. It's like it's like saying to an alien who doesn't have human facial expressions, "Quick, smile, okay." I'm in pain doing this. That's what he looked like. It's just, he looked confused. I don't know. It also, and this is just an appearance thing at this point. It's like he has too much skin on his face that wasn't proportioned right, and it's all just trying to form human face, and it's just not happening. And that's Ron DeSantis, and he still won the debate, I guess, or talked the most last night. Who knows? What is it? Who wins? Donald Trump won the debate. I know that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. First off, let's get rid of that, audience.
Yeah.
The winner of last night's debate out of the 7 candidates was the specter of Donald Trump haunting everyone above the stage, singing show tunes from above in the rafters.
Oh, man.
Donald Trump definitely won the debate last night without even being there. Interesting for you to jump back to DeSantis and not to digress too hard. He attacked Donald Trump for the first time last night.
Twice or 3 times. I think twice.
At least twice. I remember 2 specific attacks. One landed. The one where he was talking about Donald Trump not being there on stage, which Chris Christie also landed a similar attack. Which I mean,
similar
is fair. I get why people would be angry about that, but this is all a dog and pony show. This is all.
Yeah, just wipe the floor with him. Go in there and wipe him down.
Well, why would you? I mean, I see his point too. Why spend my time when I'm 45 points ahead?
Yeah,
talking with these losers. I didn't want to hang out with him. I did it because I have a podcast.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's the problem with it is that it's all kabuki theater. None of it matters. They're all auditioning to be vice president or to be UN ambassador or to be, whatever. None of them are actually going to win. The only people who actually want to win on that stage are DeSantis and Pence. And Pence has no chance at all because the party hates him. And DeSantis has no chance because he is, much like you were alluding to earlier, a literal mole person from the center of the earth that is trying to emulate a human being as best as he can. So
light.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his first
He's
words
a crab
as a human.
person. Yeah. Crab
people. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's what he is,
dude.
Yeah.
Crabs have skin, though. I don't know. Crabs have skin. He's got too much
he looks like he's been shoved into some type of shell.
Oh my God, the guy from Men in Black. I was going to say,
it's a very
somebody say that last night?
It's a very Edgar situation of sugar water. I need sugar water. Yeah.
His misfitting suit of a face is really funny to just look. I mean, he also seems like he doesn't know how to answer the question that he's being asked and is shocked that he's being, one, in public, and 2, being asked questions that are in human English words. I could go on all day with this guy, and
how is he ahead of all of them? Like Vivek Ramaswamy, we love to hate this man.
He's barely a few points up.
Huh?
He's only a few points up. I mean, like
from Vivek or the rest of everybody?
From Vivek and from, well, I mean, like, let's look at the polls right now, and I'll actually flip over to this in a second for audience.
Well, you keep
saying what you were saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. It's just fine. It's just like, like at least Vivek has charisma. At least Nikki has charisma. At least Christie has charisma. Fuck, the Virgin's got a bit more charisma. Anybody on that stage, honest to God, Mike Pence has a bit more charisma than Ron DeSantis. Like, whoa, man. We have a few moments, just not very many, because this was a wet fart. Wet fart? Are we rating this as a wet fart of a debate? Because it definitely was. No, because
wet farts can be funny. Like, this was more
painful, pathetic.
Yeah, this is more like a DMV visit with your grandfather.
Ow. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you had to listen to him talk about how scary. Yeah. He's talked about how scary trans people are in China is while y'all waited to like get your license renewed is God what this reminded me of.
They have schedules at this point for the DMV. There's no wait here in Austin, but that's a side note just for me, even though I don't. Who needs to go to the DMV? Lots of people. But one of the things that before you get to that, Chris Christie said that Joe has been sleeping with a member of the teachers union, or is sleeping with a member of the teachers union, and there's no way to undo the stranglehold they have, something to that effect. And just to say Joe's sleeping with a member of the teachers union, like, I feel like it's a bit disrespectful of just anybody and their wife.
Said that too. Pence,
but Pence follows up because like my wife's not a member of the teachers union. I'm like, great flex, bud. But I've also been sleeping with a teacher for 38 years. I'm like, that's the first time he's ever said he slept with anybody.
Sex. Yeah. Like, it's the first time he's acknowledged sex as an action.
If it wasn't for his wife and children, I would think he's a virgin. And even then, I still think test tubes exist, man. I don't know. Like you can. You cannot have sex and still have children. And I think Mike Pence did that. I think his kids are grown out of an egg. I think they seem like they lay eggs. Karen and him seem like they lay eggs. Like that's the alien they are. Ron DeSantis eats eggs. So does Rick Scott. He is a snake.
You have a very specific fantasy here of like what each candidate is.
Oh man,
I will say that.
Deluge. I don't know. I just dive into in my head of just the weirdness of these people because they're all so fucking weird. Like they're weirdos. They're not. If you like take politics out of all of this with every one of those people on stage, would you be friends if you didn't know anything about them? Would you want to have a conversation? Maybe Chris Christie, like. But love that. And then the specter of Donald Trump. You wouldn't want to be friends with any of them. They're fucking weirdos.
Donald Trump is an unlocked character. You have to beat the entire game first.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
You can't.
Yeah. Motherfucker down on the left. What was your words for him last night? What's his? It's not
Doug
Asa
Burgum.
Hutchinson, but Doug
Burgum.
What'd you call him?
South Dakota governor. I called him Ayn Rand presents Dracula.
Ayn Rand presents Dracula, and then was if Dracula were a Mormon?
Oh, yeah. A Mormon Count Chocula. Like
Mormon Count Chocula. That one's that he looks more like Count Chocula than I don't know why. Oh Lord. These are your GOP picks for president. I wouldn't want to be friends with any of these people. Vivek seems annoying. Nikki, maybe she seems, I don't know, halfway normal. Chris Christie could be fun, but the rest of them, nah. Maybe Tim Scott. Definitely not Ron DeSantis. Fucking
what nightmare blunt rotation are you coming up with right now?
I'm just like in general of people. If you take politics, if I didn't know anything about them, I would like sure maybe like I might approach them at a party. But like Asa Hutchinson looks like his fingers smell, and then you got Mormon Dracula, like, and then Mike Pence also looks like his fingers smell. So I don't know what they smell like, but they smell.
Mike Pence's fingers probably smell like, I don't know, like
mayonnaise,
baking soda.
Baking soda, does that have a smell? Oh God! All right,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, see, y'all, this is more entertaining, and I'm saying this confidently than what you would have watched last night if you watched last night, like, because they say nothing of substance. Like, this is a sound design term, walla walla. It's the peas and carrots you hear on the background of any type of recording or in the background of a television show. Everything they said just sounded like right wing walla walla. Like everything from fentanyl's a problem, and then Barack Obama did this, and then Hillary's emails. Like, they didn't say Hillary's emails, but every rando right wing soundbite you could have ever heard. We can edit all of that together, and it will sound like a bunch of crazy right wingers just singing and saying. Sure, I'll trump myself with that, and and just saying the dumbest shit. Oh, polls! Yay! Here we go.
All right, so looking at the polls here, we have Donald Trump on average between the last 8 or so polls up 42 points. At 56.6 to DeSantis's 14.4 and Haley's 5.8, Ramaswamy's 5.1, Pence's 4.2, Scott's 2.8, Christie's 2.7, Burgum's 0.9, and Hutchinson's 0.6, with the others not included at this point by RCP, Real Clear Politics polling. I mean, Trump is on average 42 points.
That's so that brings me to the crux of the episode, and we'll get into a couple of the some of them were pretty funny highlights from the debate. But should there be another one? Like, no. Why do a third and fourth if he's not going to show up? Like, because it seemed pointless. Even the moderators, I feel like they thought it was pointless too. And every reporter I've heard since yesterday, like that I've listened to or read, like this felt pointless and lacked of any substance. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was completely pointless. The entire thing was a demonstration in the current problem with the Republican Party, and that is it is a cult. That is that no one there actually has a shot to become the next president of the United States, the person with the most physical power to affect the most lives of any amount of human beings throughout all of history, the person who can unilaterally push a button and destroy the existence of all of us, the person who will decide the trajectory of our climate more so than any other human being over the next 50 years. That office, that title, is only acceptable for one person by about 33% of this country. And that person is John Trump. He is a cult leader. They are in a cult. They will never accept anyone that is not him until he is dead. And after he's dead, there will be QAnon-like conspiracy theories. They will blame the deep state. They will say the Democrats did it. They will say that there's this huge Chinese conspiracy. Yeah. And they will vote for him
and grab his chest on stage and fall over, and they will still say they shot him. Like, no, they didn't. Like,
I think that there will always be a large contingency of the Republican Party that will be Trump conspiracy QAnon people, always, for all time, as long as it exists as a party, at least for the next 50 to 100 years. And if he does not go to prison or die, they will make him the nominee. Every election cycle. Like 4 years from now, he will be the nominee if he is not in prison or if he is not dead. He has captured the base of the Republican Party in full. It's not like the donors want him there. It's not like, they do actually like him because he gets what they want done and he distracts us with all the fucking crazy shit that he does. But they don't enjoy him personally. Everyone knows he's a gross, old, handsy, weirdo. Everyone knows that he, paints his face with orange makeup and shits in a diaper regularly around people. Everybody knows that he fucking lies constantly and fucking trades state secrets to show off. Everyone knows that he's a gross, weird person. Except his base that believes he is the next Messiah.
Yeah, he literally just in court the other day said when they were trying to, if you inflate your assets, like the fiscal value of your assets, that's called fraud. He said to the judge,
"What? Really? I gotta take care of some stuff.
Oh, get out of here quick." He said to a judge,
"Andrew has never committed fraud.
My property can be worth as much as I say because I could sell it to a Saudi billionaire right now with one phone call." So I'm like, you're just saying that you can be easily bought by the Saudis? Did you just admit that in court? You dumb.
I don't think anyone cares. We all know that.
But
that capitalists can be bought by other fucking rich people. The thing that shocks me more is that the idea that he came up with like the dorm room stoner excuse to anything that's a problem. Like, well, what is money anyway, man? Like, what is the value of a building? Yeah, like we all decide how much Trump Tower is worth, right? Like
just
as
ones
a
and zeros.
society. Yeah, it's all like representational, man. Like it's not real. Like, whoa. So, I mean, but the truth is like he committed perpetual fraud, he and his sons and a lot of the business owners multiple times. And now they're going to lose everything that they have in New York, which is the vast majority of his empire. So, I mean, like he's in dire straits. Things are not looking good for Donnie. Rolling Stone was reporting that he is privately fretting that he will go to prison. You know, I scroll through TikTok and doom scroll and I just see, you know, tons of people on live chat like he will be your president again with a big, you know, vote Trump 2024 Brandon, let's go Brandon flag in their background.
Oh, Lord.
And every time I'm just like, let's check back in 6 months.
Yeah.
Let's see where we are in March, y'all. You're so confident now that,
like the trials
that
haven't
he's
even
somehow going to pull
started.
this out. Yeah.
This one has started because
90?
it started like 6 months ago. Like, and it was
91
easy.
indictments.
Yeah.
91. If I'm literally like, if Mother Teresa had fucking 91 indictments against her, I'd be like, well, she's probably going to prison. Like
She had less, and we know she was a piece of shit. Sorry, look it up. It sucks. Like,
does
don't
suck.
worship
It
your
does suck.
heroes, man.
Yeah.
Don't have any heroes.
Absolutely.
No gods, no masters. But
No, that was, I guess, a bad example because Mother Teresa was actually a bad person in real life. But I mean, you know,
nobody's
Jesus
a good person.
Christ, Aang, the last avatar. Like you could, yeah, if they have 91 indictments against them, like Luke Skywalker, then they're going to go to prison. Like, I'm sorry, but like, maybe not go to prison, but they're going to get convicted. Like 91 indictments means that
They found
the
something.
different prosecution teams, the different prosecution teams can swing for the fences, and if they hit 3 or 4, he's going to prison for multiple years. So it's the idea they have reached the point of delusion that they think that he's going to get away with all this, and if he somehow did miraculously Teflon Don get away with all this, that he would win another general election. Like, he lost by 9 million votes. I know it's not a landslide because of the way the Electoral College works. It should be a landslide because a national office should just be federally based off the number of votes you have.
Separate episode.
But he is. Imagine if the Democrats do get him off the ballot in Arizona or Wisconsin or Pennsylvania. Like,
Not happening.
Like slowly but surely, Donald Trump is losing a pathway to the White House through the Electoral College, right? And the idea that under investigation and under indictment and possibly being convicted, he is going to pick up moderate or swing voters is ridiculous. They don't really get the basics of politics in this, and that your base can drive out support. Absolutely. Like, you can win elections based just off your base, but the other side has to not care or be sad enough to think that they don't need to vote. Like, you can't win through just a base election if the other side is also fired up.
Yeah.
You can win through a base election if the other side's like, you know, I don't really care. Like, my party's letting me down. But you have to win moderates and swing voters, or you have to turn out so many people that it's record breaking.
Yeah.
That it's something new, that people that weren't normally going to vote. Those are the only two strategies to victory in any type of popular election. And they do not understand that the average suburban, like American Joe, American Jane, is looking at the Republican Party now like they looked at the Democratic Party in the 70s and the late 60s as the crazies. They're like, look at these crazy people. Like, all they do is focus on trans people, and I don't care either way. Like, that is what a lot of average Americans are thinking. I wish they did care about trans people and marginalized people all over the world more. But the fact is like, they look at it as like, I don't want to talk about any of that shit. Like, I care about my rent. I care about if my kids can go to school. I care about, you know, whether or not my job is going to actually give me a raise this year. Like, the average American is looking at the Republican Party and being like, why are we talking about Ukraine subsidies and trans people? Like, I can't afford groceries. Like, what are you talking about? So, I mean,
the decline of wokeism, as they call it. I truly hate that word, but like, the people don't care. Like, when I don't remember where the poll was. That's actually was a plan for an episode at some point, but it was
called political correctism when we were growing up. Like, it's the same thing.
Correctism.
It's the exact same. It's just like this PC culture. I remember growing up all the time. Yeah. And it means the same thing. It means shit I don't like.
Yeah, exactly. But people don't care about that in the Republican Party anymore. They hear all these people doing this, and they're just like, I don't care about that. Like you said, I need food. The gas prices are too high. You know, I'm scared about, people coming over the border. Like they're scared of that, but they are scared about their jobs. They're not scared about these social wars that the GOP invents when any person on the left is trying to do is just give those people basic human rights. But, whatever. That's another time. It's silly, and they're not going to win with this. The debate is a perfect encapsulation of the state of the Republican Party right now, which is that it is a cult. Everyone else is pretending to love the guy that they hate. No one on that stage likes him. And they're all because the party is enthralled by its base. There is like the Democratic Party, and you and I have talked for a decade about this. The Democratic Party's problem is that it never listens to its base. It listens to its corporate donors. And the Republican Party's is that it always listens to its base. And the donors are usually okay with that because they get what they want in the end. The Republican donors get the same thing that the Democrat donors want: lower taxes, less regulation on their businesses, whoever's lobbying. And the Democrats try to keep their base in line by throwing out a little bit of like, oh, how about some Romney care? How about we give you a Romney care? How about we light the White House in rainbow in celebration of something we didn't even do when SCOTUS did it? Like, the Democratic Party throws out these like trinkets of like, look, we're not calling for genocide. Yeah. Doesn't that make us good? And we're like, no, it just makes you better than the people who are calling for genocide. It doesn't make you good. What was the stunt they did with I forget, kente cloth? Is that what it's called? Or they wore black African garb and did a kneeling.
Yeah, Pelosi did that one.
Pelosi and all these people, like, such a crock of shit. Like, I know they were given to them by the Black Caucus, and the Democrats are going to argue that, but it's all theater.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what this was too.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nancy Pelosi walked up to me and like was like Wakanda forever, like I like, what are you talking to me about? Like,
oh man, it's like, did you see the new one? There's a lot of women in it. No, like, okay, yeah, Nancy, exactly. We get it. You're
the good news is,
do you want me to say you're woke, Nancy? Yes, please.
The good news is we have 4 non-binary drone pilots serving in Yemen right now.
Their kill count is now up to 6,000 each.
2 indigenous Native Americans have killed over 33 Syrian children in the past month.
We're giving people jobs.
Exactly.
Creating jobs for the indigenous population and immigrants. They can join too. They can kill everybody back at home. Like that's what they... Oh man, they're all...
More greedy female CEOs.
Yeah, right. Dude, they are all... Again, and they all do this to state one in power, and to just, it's anytime I watch it, it's hard, and I understand why people don't trust anybody. Why conspiracies, I mean, aside from the fact that most conspiracy theories are based in racism, but why conspiracy theories about politicians at least pop up is they all just seem so goddamn fake. They seem like they are just political theatering. I mean, watching Ted Cruz do a thing, and then definitely know that I know, and you've worked in Washington, that these people are friends with each other. They are in bands together. They play racquetball together. They work out together.
They go to the same colleges.
Lunch. They go to the same colleges.
They marry each other.
Guess what? The Illuminati exists, and it's just a bunch of fucking friends that met in college. That's all it is. It's not a secret society.
It's like
just
George
a bunch
Carlin
of dickheads.
Said. You don't need like some active conspiracy for these people to realize that their interests align and then do that instinctively to make sure those interests are, kept in the positions of power. Like, it doesn't need to be a sit down muhaha Mr. Burns, like with a group of evil people in a room.
It's a bunch of people. It's Paul Ryan and Tucker Carlson who've known each other since college, and we're in the same classes together, and talk about how they used to talk about promoting Ayn Rand while around a beer keg. That's an actual quote.
It's all a game to them.
Those two, like. God damn.
It's all a game. It's they were all born into privilege. They all went to the same schools. Like, it's all just a little game of red versus blue. And it doesn't matter how many people die. It doesn't matter how many wars are started. It doesn't matter how bad the economy gets. It doesn't matter how much wealth inequality is. None of that matters because we're playing the little game where in the end we get to go drink the most expensive scotches together at some bar in DC or New York or LA. Like, these class is the dividing issue. Everything else is just a joke. It's just a distraction. And slowly but surely, I think that that's becoming, aware with a lot of people, is that there is such an amount of wealth that has been hoarded by the top 1% that it is becoming politically advantageous on both sides to focus on economic policy that is populist. The question is do you go with the left-wing idea that all people, based off their need, are given what we can provide? Or do you go with the right-wing ideology, which is, oh yeah, we'll give you some populism, we'll give you healthcare, we'll give you like paid time off, we'll give you family leave for white people.
Yeah.
For white men.
Christian Protestants.
Yeah. Christian white men.
Not Catholics.
It is the idea of like Viktor Orban's country, like of that, it is the idea of Vladimir Putin's Russia. Like it is the idea of a lot of these right wing nations that like, oh, we'll give you populist policies that you like. I mean, Hitler's Germany was this way too. We'll act like we're kind of socialist in what we provide, but we're only going to provide those to the upper middle class white people that help our party and will keep us in power.
Yeah.
As opposed to communists and socialists, leftists, semi-neoliberals, even though they piss me off, which argue for government intervention to help the people who need it the most and to pull back on the people who are taking advantage and exploiting those very people that are at the bottom of that totem pole.
Yeah.
And whether or not the average American falls on what side of that divide is going to be a determinative moment in the 21st century and for all of at least American history, if not Western and the world history. Because we are on the verge of some beautiful and some amazing things. Space travel, actually being able to provide for everyone housing and food and healthcare.
Yeah.
The idea of education actually benefiting every single human child. The idea of a 10-hour work week, where robots are doing most of our work and most of us can focus on creative and loving endeavors and our families and our hopes and our dreams. These are all possible within our lifetimes. Combating climate change and the terrifying specter of that haunts and looms in the future. These are all things we can do. These are all problems that are solvable. These are all problems that can be tackled. But we have to choose to do it.
Yeah.
And listening to the Republicans debate on stage for a job that they're never going to get ain't helping.
Yeah. Before we go to hear them again talk about a job they're not going to get, they're not even going to get vice president. Maybe most of them want secretary of state. I would at least.
Nikki Haley might. I bet you Nikki Haley.
Yeah,
Nikki Haley is the one person on the stage who might wind up benefiting from these debates because she might. If she doesn't attack Trump and she stays loyal to him the whole time, she might wind up getting the VP slot. I still think it'll go to someone that is whiter.
I think it'll be Vivek or...
Oh, no, dude, it'll be a woman. It'll be a woman.
You think... no, wait, Carrie Lake. Oh, it'll be Carrie Lake. Never mind.
Yeah, it'll be Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake.
I was about to say, Carrie Lake's my pick.
Yeah.
But, you got to find your own when it comes to us making a bet. But I think it'll be a woman. It will be a white woman from a swing state that...
Carrie Lake.
Yeah, he wants a woman to go against Kamala Harris. He thinks Pence did a bad job in the debates. I remember him tweeting about that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, like...
off his game.
Well, no. Oh, he's thinking Kamala Harris. Yeah. He's thinking Kamala Harris.
Regardless, a woman would throw Pence off his game, and I think
he wants a loyalist because of what Pence did on January 6th. So he wants somebody who will always do what he says. He wants somebody who's white because, somebody who has evangelical bona fides and somebody who's a woman. Yeah. That's what he wants. I don't think we'll probably see, which is kind of sad, but also like I get it because representation is important, but we probably won't see a white male straight VP in our lifetimes again. I wouldn't why would you? Like, no. I wouldn't pick a white straight dude as my VP.
Joe Biden was the last white straight. Oh no, Mike Pence was.
Mike Pence was. I think will be the last white straight VP. But I mean, I could be wrong about that with Republicans, I guess. But I think that
you never know. I mean, dude, like three of them smart, up there are brown people or people of color.
Yeah, and I think that the Republicans, slowly or socially being pulled to the left unwillingly and unknowingly, just from culture and like society. Like, that's not to say there's not horribly patriarchal and misogynistic people still in the Republican Party. The vast majority of them are, but there's a lot of Democrats who are misogynistic. Trust me. But I like the idea that a woman can be vice president or president. I don't think is something that would stop a conservative for voting for someone.
No,
right?
I mean, they were still going to vote for Sarah Palin, and she was dumb as bag of rocks. Like, like it's truly dumb as bags of rocks.
Right.
Like,
I think they just won't vote for a Democrat.
No, Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to blast through these highlights, I should say. One of them, I'll say for the end, is really funny because it's just like, oh, wow, she said what we were all thinking. First, Chris Christie kept trying to do one-liners on Donnie and ended up saying, like, he's going to duck out on this debate where he's not going to be called Donald Trump. He's going to be called Donald Duck. Crickets, like, is where that would normally be inserted, crickets. But my God, he waited all week to say that, which is so stupid. And I just like, how many millions of ad dollars were paid just so Chris Christie could say Donald Trump is Donald Duck? Like, whatever. Okay.
he thought it was a fucking like fastball down the center.
Oh my God, I nailed him.
He thought he got it. Yeah.
Then Ron, he made fun of Don for not being there. Okay, Tim Cook.
Best moment of the night.
Best moment of the night. That was good. Tim Cook trying to go at Nikki Haley for her curtains in her office, like when she was an ambassador, which Obama had given the previous ambassador those curtains. It doesn't matter. They were expensive.
You mean Tim Scott, right?
Yeah, but Tim
Apple was not there. Tim Cook was not there.
Tim Pool.
You said Tim Cook.
Yeah, Tim Cook. Who's the guy? The guy who's running for president. Am I wrong? Oh my God,
Tim Scott.
Scott, Jesus, I have it written down as Tim Cook. That iPad auto-corrected it to Tim Cook.
Your Apple was like, no, there is but one Tim. It is not you or Scott.
Okay, I was like, wait, this sounds right.
Yeah, Tim Cook is Tim Apple.
Tim Apple, I know.
Trump.
It needs.
And
that's what I always
Tim
call
Pool
him too.
Is Beanie Boy, who's afraid of Sam Cedar. So
that's hilarious. But Tim Scott, tried to go at Nikki Haley about her curtains when she was ambassador.
Okay, sorry. Quick ADHD interruption. Why are all the Andrews and Tims beside us shitty?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, there's not a lot of good Andrews aside from you. Like, there's not a lot of Tims
good
are
Tims.
bad.
Not a lot of good Tims. There's a lot of bad Tims.
Tim Cook is fine. He's not great, but he's a billionaire. He's not good. He's whatever. Like, who knows?
Timothy Chalamet. You got Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, should have. I have opinions on Dune. It's a good movie though.
That's another podcast.
But no, okay. But Tim Scott going at Nikki Haley for her curtains was just so dumb. One, because the curtains were already there before, but two, it's like, is that what you were prepared for? Like, got her. She's disqualified from being president. She shouldn't be. She's dead in the water. Got her for fucking curtains. Like, that's what you did. Like,
I assume that like they have like 5 or 6 like bullet points of like, if this person's talking when you're talking,
mention the curtains.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot you can go after Nikki Haley for, but not as a conservative, right? Like you can't go after her on her like conservative bona fides or like her ability, like her fact that she was UN ambassador. Like you can't attack her. A lot of the policies that she served under Trump weren't her decisions or her actions. So there's not really anything you can attack her on if you're trying to win a conservative primary. I think
she is so conservative that she attacked Ron DeSantis for getting rid of fracking and offshore drilling in Florida. Like something that they desperately needed to happen. And Ron did because of, he's not an idiot and he is an idiot, but like it's getting worse because of all of that over there. But he got rid of that. She attacked him for it. But then the best one of the night, and this is, I want this as my ringtone because it's such an echo of Billy Madison, or the end of Billy Madison. Vivek was talking about joining TikTok because he wanted to reach younger voters, which Yeah, that's a
He's
good
into
idea.
edging.
Yeah.
He's into edging.
Sure. He is, but he also is just into doing that, into reaching younger voters. You have to do that if you want to like have any hope of reaching these young cons. And TikTok is a place. There's a lot of conservatives. You're trolling us right now in the comments. Good for you. Thanks for the views. It's great. We really appreciate it. But
TikTok are not too bad usually. It's YouTube that
it's YouTube, man. TikTok is usually
gives me
fine.
Hours of my day
Y'all
to fuck
on
with
YouTube
trolls.
are next level dumb. Like, I mean, some of the people, like, there was one person I interacted with the other day, was very cordial, disagreed with us, even liked Jordan
There's a couple
Peterson.
Of nice people that we
like,
disagree with. Yeah,
it's fine, but man,
it's occasional.
like, sometimes it's just like you do not have a grasp
it's just
on anything.
It's usually just Andrew is pale and white and fat and never gets laid, which is only like 3/4 true because I do sleep with your mom.
Yeah,
Chat,
there you go.
Pretty regularly. And your dad whenever he's filling up for some frisky time.
And bisexual gives you options. So last bit of when he was. She was attacking him for that, and he was like, well, trying to defend himself. And honestly, I'm with him. He again should be using TikTok. She says the exact quote: "Every time I hear you, I feel a little bit dumber for what you say." I could listen to her say that all day.
That was a good line.
The echo of the Billy Madison. We are all now dumber for what you have said now, and I don't know if she was intentionally quoting it, but yeah, I too feel that way about Vivek, that I feel dumber every time he talks. And it's, thank you, Nikki Haley, for that wonderful soundbite. That will be the biggest meme. Maybe not, I don't know. It'll be a meme.
I feel like Vivek is just like two like college business majors in a trench coat. Like,
hello, I am Mr. Businessman Ramaswamy. Would you like to do business with us?
No,
Not us,
and
me.
birthright citizenship. Oh.
I think the voting age should be 25, so people like me, I mean people like my little sister, can vote.
Just because I'm young and brown doesn't mean I don't hate young and brown people. Come on.
God.
Apparently, Vivek Ramaswamy is Jerry Seinfeld in my impersonation.
Oh, okay. Well, he looks. I said it last night. He looks like Jerry. He looks like Jerry Seinfeld or Beavis.
He looks like Beavis.
He looks like Beavis.
As we established last night. He looks like Indian Beavis.
His hair is definitely got the Beavis vibe. His long ass face. He's Beavis. He sounds as intelligent as Beavis. Like he's a Beavis. Like
you don't need to vote.
What does Beavis mean?
Kids don't need to vote.
was that a thing people called him? Because his butthead, I get, but Beavis was always like, is that
Beavis is a name?
Insult? It's a name of a human,
name,
right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, like whatever. I haven't watched the new one. I hear it's fantastic. Mike Judge can do mostly no wrong. That's all I have really on.
It's a French name.
Oh wow. Okay. That's all I got on the debate, really, because there was nothing of substance. It was, I mean, there shouldn't be a third one unless Don shows up. We've established that.
No.
And all of these people, again, were just making, no, it's too long of a project, but I was going to do all their sound bites all at once and just like create like an ambience of Republican talking points that you can sit in a room and just hear the minimum wage should be lower.
Audience, if you can get our Patreon up to $1,000 a month, I will personally learn video editing and make more memes. I will increase my meme rate by 200%.
Donate to the
but
Patreon.
I need someone to pay me.
Or subscribe to YouTube so we can monetize there, because that would be pretty rad.
Also, if you're looking for a dungeon master or a sensual lover, I'll take money for those too. Yeah,
Andrew will be your game master for money, by the way. He's very good. Cannot hawk him enough, and going to be doing so here in about 2 months. So stand lookout for that. We're done. And the GOP probably is done too. And like, at least in
these
any sort of
majority,
these primaries are. Why is there a primary? Let's just do it now. Get it over with. Just fucking kill me. Like that's what this is. Like, just end it. And just end it. God, like right here. You've been listening to America the Conversation, a production of Shway Media and America the Podcast Presents. The show was created and is hosted by Tim Phillippe and Andrew Turner. The show's theme song is by Timmy Two Step, and all other music and sounds heard in this show were procured through the amazing companies listed in our show notes.
America the Conversation is mixed and edited by Tim Philippi at Shway Media Studios in Austin, Texas. For more information, please visit shwaymedia.com. Copyright 2023, all rights reserved.
This has been a production of Shway Media, all rights reserved. For more information, please visit shwaymedia.com.